individually as players, right? Stewie,
Oh,
CS
absolutely.
Legend, Wardell, like on an Opping God, literally owner of Op Academy, Rossi, Tig, too, from really seasoned rosters, and Brax, who's just, tall. I'm joking.
I mean, that's a pretty good. Had a
Yeah.
legendary career, but challengers is challengers. Like, how does that translate over into competitive Valorant? And we've only, like you said, Rav, had limited data on it. So we're gonna wait and see how this A main push goes on pistol.
Let's find out. Now, there is the alarm bot set up early, also past the smoke, so that's already to anticipate any sort of early onset aggression. And considering how dark ratios, they're set up pretty default. So
Yeah.
I don't think we're necessarily going to see like super explosive starts to any of these maps if they continue to play like this. Now, the nation on the other end is set up pretty much as a 4-stack line, looking to likely just push it off contact. And the drone as well on sewers, they might have actually heard him actually drop that nade. So that could be an indication as to who's holding where.
Alarm bot down.
There we go. Early util being drained out. Zexrel
Yeah.
fending for themselves back of A. Full util clear.
They're rotating in as well, and they use a paranoia to make their way onto the site. As a spike will go down, we'll see all dark ratio all move in as 5. Now, consider this is pistol, right? This should be an absolute bloodbath. Here comes in the Han, and 2 more go down to the side of the nation. Now underneath heaven, they got 2 stacked up, but they can't see nothing so far. Look at that, they got mask on, but he has to reload. Rex! Oh, takes the final.
A bad case of not having unlimited ammo. Oh, shake my head. But the nation, really good start to the round. Really patient from both sides. And you mentioned it yourself that Dark Ratio was playing a little bit more of a defaulty defense. They weren't really playing on top of each other. They were more util reliant. And it was more so just kind of poking, prodding, and a little bit of discovery to see where the nation would exactly attack first. But now that A main was one-sided, and they're guessing correctly about maybe they had a secondary push for round 2. The nation, they're stacked up almost entirely outside of A, with albeit a little bit of a lurking presence here. But for Dark Ratio, that's 4, baby.
To start off as well, the man's about the Bulldogs. It's a long-range battle that somehow Drone is winning with a classic. And that actually causes them to fall off. A Bulldog battle 1 with a free gun, the economy's going up.
Yeah, it's looking really good right now. And that drone, the turret was just recalled by Zexro. Full control, no utility at all on both C and B sites. Dark Ratio anticipating the rotate back over to A. Full dedication to the site too. No one's on the outer edges. The dark covers go down. The audio cues are heard. Spike goes down, Rav. And suddenly now Dark Ratio, they have only full control of A connector.
Still a couple seconds to remain. And watch where they look to come in from, right? There's pretty much all 3 of them stacked up, insert in the exact same angle. And now they got no cover. The concussion should be enough for them to look to move in. I'm surprised they used that before. But look, takes to the back. He's not spotted. And Drone, who got 3 by the end, by himself with just 1 gun, cannot sadly clean it up. That's the classic, yeah.
That's a classic. Really good start for the nation. And again, I just want to hammer home how patient this attacking round has been from, well, I guess the last 2 rounds we've seen. Just the slow push towards C, towards the inevitable bloodbath, but then just kind of reeling it back and going for almost a mid-round restart has worked out well for these executes towards the end of the round. But Dark Ratio, they've been stacking up and that didn't work as well as they had hoped. Now we see the split push, a 2-1-2 split, with only Alarm Bot dividing out B with a single fault line there to slow down this A push. It's a fast round.
Going down early isn't nice, though, I'd say. Especially it was a attempt at a much aggressive play to try to capitalize on the econ that they had, but Dark Ratio now too has to look to pick up a couple of the other pieces that they've unfortunately dropped as they rotate over and try to move up through grass.
Keep in mind, the belly of the beast is all that Killjoy utility on side of C. Only the Alarm Bot again is going to divide out B. The Shock Dart doesn't connect to the Alarm Bot. Oh, with his Owl drone. Doesn't spot any KJ util there, but that drone, that turret, I'm sorry, spots everything.
Yeah. Although the third spot, that's about it. There's also the Molly, of course, that's there by neutral and by the entrance, so that should separate Wardell. There we go. Wardell just stuck inside the smoke for now. It still gets 1. So when they clear out 1 more, he just takes 2 for free. Angie doesn't swing. And so they just get a free plant. What?
I mean, it's not an op, but it might as well be.
He doesn't need it. He's a Phantom. He's a Phantom. Okay. He doesn't need the op. It's fine. So
you know what? I'm living for it.
Exactly. This is the growth arc that we absolutely love. And Dark Ratio knows they gotta save. Can't do nothing more than that.
Yeah, and by now, most of these rounds have pretty much gone beat for beat the same from the Nation. They've found early contact at the beginning of the rounds. Then they opt to, again, just kind of reset towards spawn and then go for a whole different angle, a whole different site. And so I guess for Dark Ratio right now, they have Faved Utility, but that's really the only info gathering tool they have outside of Killjoy's turret. But by the time that turret finds anything, it's already too late and the execute's going to be called. What do you do here for Dark Ratio? Are they playing too far back? Do you think they should play more aggressive?
I think the first 2 rounds aren't necessarily an indication of what Dark Ratio can and can't do, right? It's the first 2 pistols, so I wouldn't necessarily read too much into it because, hey, first pistol, you default and you deal with the gunfights. Sure. Second one, it's an ante. What are you gonna do? The third is kind of tough because you lost on the side exec and not able to defend it. And then you're thinking, holding these super tight angles, when you're on the site, didn't necessarily work out. And they couldn't decide whether they wanted to completely move away or, maybe try to at least get their one. And now they're in a bit of a weird position where they got 2 guns. So hopefully the 2 guns they have managed to put up some numbers.
Yeah, I was going to mention the eco here for Dark Ratio is a little odd this round. 2 whole rifles, the ones that were saved.
Shorties.
Oh, I love this play from Will.
If Will gets one, that would be tight, but no. Yo, Will bought a shorty for the shorty, but it seems like his shorty wasn't having none. Unfortunate, but it'll leave them in a 4v3. Of course, firmly on the site. Do bear in mind though, still one of the guns that they had left over from the previous round is in their hands. And our drone slowly creeping up, should have been captured. Yep, he gets spotted. One more gone, Trick with the only gun in hand, and 1v3. He's no one flash and the fault line.
Fault line's been called. Staves away anyone from the Nation from pushing up a little bit longer.
Saves again. So he's a back. Should get this. Ooh, unfortunate.
Oh, good try for the save though. Rolling Thunder now in the possession of the Nation could be good for a great exec power, but the Nation, they don't even really need a Rolling Thunder to push into a site. It's more so of a post-plant tool, and there it is. There it is. Oh no, Wardell. Toying with my emotions. We called it round 3. And there it is, round 5.
All right.
We were pretty close.
Okay, I was thinking that, but he did have the Phantom, right? Last one. Like, he's gonna give that up. But Will now also has his. So that
makes
is
me
going
nervous.
to be a dueling op battle that I see. So, like, I'm gonna use the Fade to clear early angles, gotta put out the Hunt A main, and the Concuss as well to just thwart them all back. But the op, though, is pretty much staying at a satiety angle, and I believe they are aware of this, right? So they're likely, with the pings you can see, they probably know where they're aiming towards, and we're just gonna hold that.
I agree.
But the Nation is not gonna give them the chance.
No, and look at this small rotate from Dark Ratio heading on over towards Seaside. They know how oppressive Will, or really any jet, or any jet in this lobby with the operator could be here. Let's see what kind of info can be gathered. Look at that deep push-up from Killjoy right outside of B main. The alarm bot can definitely be hurt, and that's going to be a great pressure tool to stall away, making sure no one can pressure through B. Oh, but Will backs off.
The drone doesn't see him.
No. And now relocating outside of sewers, this is huge. It's up to Wardell now, they swap weapons. This is huge. We've been seeing a lot of this from the Nation. A really old school attack for FPS games. Swap away the op, make sure it's a precious jewel that isn't hurt.
This is the tough part to watch this. Oh, Will sees my man's cape, bro. This is why Edna said no capes. This is why she said it. Mr. Incredible finally gets it, but Will does too. Now, as all to rotate over, it's in a 4v4. They have the knives also available, but they won't necessarily need them. And you were talking about the Rolling Thunder, though. As all look to move in, one drops down. There's a second as well. Take clears away 3 just for free. Leaving Dark Ratio in a really tough position. Extra, that's nice, but it's pretty much him by himself. Like the Nation on a 5-0 start.
Yeah, I mean, the Rolling Thunder wasn't even needed. The Nation have not been contested really in any gunfight so far this game. I mean, remember, I think it was round 3 where we had seen that fast push towards C, and Drone was able to mow down 3 different people by the end of that round, which is a classic. So far, mechanically, the Nation has looked really, really good, and Dark Ratio, they're playing in for trades, and they have a lot of anti-map pressure control. The problem is, though, is when they lose the spike site, they're not able to recover it.
Nice shot to start off, right? Finally with an odd battle naturally. But I'll leave them in a fun position because now with this, you've lost all the pressure down it. So you're now forced to pretty much stack up and anticipate which site they might go to. And naturally, they're leading towards the most commonly contested sites being C and A. Now, you've seen that although no pressure was given over, they've got a minute left here.
Yeah.
So they're deciding to slow play it here, Keg.
I like this slow play idea. Almost no info for Dark Ratio's side. They have no visibility. Their Fade does have the haunt, but the util hasn't been used yet. Realistically, the Nation can go anywhere they want. They still have that Rolling Thunder in their arsenal. Could be good to clear out C site. An alarm bot towards the back to make sure no one's playing for the flank, and B could be just as tantalizing as C site as well. There we go, recon bull.
I like that word. Yeah, looking tantalizing. Huh?
Ooh.
But I'll tell you what else is tantalizing here, Max. First, how they're about to take control of the entire site. Now, I like that they're playing this high-low angle, right? Just this whole on the ground, on the cloud type beat.
Yeah.
Take this in.
It's a triple contact.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was about to say. Because they have to enter in one at the other of the site, so they're already swinging off one another. This is beautiful.
Really good
now
one
here
way.
comes contact. Now, the paranoia will of course slow it down. The flash comes in, and it seemed they were triple contacted first. The number given away, then all falls apart. But not so Wardell clinking some alongside Brax. A beautiful spray down. He takes down two. That's the op gone. Now some drone to defuse. He's just gonna hold it. There's no contestation. And a thrifty for Dark Ratio.
At the very last second, the shot comes by fractions of a second too late. Dark Ratio finally get their round, and they did it, like you said, on a thrifty, no less. They played it slow, they played for the retake, and you know the kill feed looked like a Christmas tree. Just green and red nonstop. A triple contact there. There's the replay. Yep, here it comes. Really good tactical clear coming out with just Sheriffs nonetheless. Oh, lordy. But that's only one round for Dark Ratio. On a thrifty, which is good, they get to build up their economy more. But the response, it's nothing but aggression.
Yeah, he's moving pretty easily. Yeah, because look at this. Considering the off the early contact, they'll force him to move back a little bit, but with nobody being lost. Well, I'm gonna say, well, with Wardell being lost, unfortunately, it's the same sort of situation that we saw last round.
Yeah.
But now on opposite ends. And no, he was thinking they're coming down garage. The paranoia is so big, and he sees him TPing over. Says, "Yo, where you going, cuz? I see you, dog." Dang. 3v3 once again. The Rolling Thunder used for the opposition to keep them all off the site. The spike continues to tick down. And the rest of the nation can only watch that go by. They've got to make a play, and they do it here. The flash is there, but they're both blinded towards the back of the site, leaving Drone by himself in a 2v1. First, you got a Rossi sees the head home. But Rossi clicks him first.
Yeah, good redirect again from the Nation. Just putting that pressure onto the site. And Dark Ratio, they've been having a hard time finding a response. They were able to win the thrifty round. They bought up, and now, just like it was a few rounds ago, a blink of an eye, back to just marshals and pistols, back to another thrifty round. And I love the way Tig just re-XX onto the site. I was worried, Rav, because with Wardell going down, you don't have that pressure of a tailwind having so much space being created onto a site. You have to rely on just either reach util or just for the best. But this is going to be a quiet round. There's no contact at the beginning except for maybe KJ on KJ, but no. C-side's even quiet too. Oh, but look at Trick with a Marshall only.
Oh, he's up top. Ooh. He gets him. That was really close because that Marshall could have actually, honestly, probably gotten one, but really put a damper on their plans. But Tig's pushing up so aggressively, and Drone actually wins.
Wardell still got that operator. Looking to see if anyone rotates over from C side into B. The Dark Ratio is going to take an alternate route. They're still holding for garage. Stewie's there. just in case.
Saw his arm.
Oh, Valorant timing.
But Brax got his back. That was close
miracle.
because if Brax wasn't there, he dies 100%.
Oh, yeah. Knife out and everything. Will's still gonna reaggress, but can't find anybody. The nation's long gone, except for a down sewers. It's a dangerous game to play here. Still locked down in tow, likely not to be used here, but it could be good, but there's no info pushing into A site.
Don't need it, but Angie though spotted, gives away a lot of likely just flank potential or perhaps stoppage power that they had currently. So now they know where to look. And then let them move in. Angie actually peeks out of the smoke. And meanwhile, Will also gets taken out on the other side of the map.
Dark Ratio, they're changing things up. They tried to play a little bit more aggressive the few rounds ago. On their Thrifty round, they did the same exact thing. Trick tried to find impact with that Marshall, but every angle that you could aggressively push on Haven is just being countered by the nation. They're watching for everything. And when Stewie went down, I really love to see Brax there just to cover his back. It really goes to show again how big chemistry can be at this level of play. Or here's that big C exec again. And there's only one body on site. It's up to Ange versus the world.
I mean, I don't think Ange stays. He puts the smoke, no shot.
He
He's concussed, but he should be able to TP towards the side. He makes it out alive. From one smoke to the next, but gets spotted with the Hunter's Fury. Because now look at the rest of the map here. They have to look to go in one by one. And he gets taken out by the breach until that after shocked him back.
It's a tactical round. They push into sight. Dark Ratio, they have some formations there. They try to play somewhat of a retake, but again, just Wardell and Tig are just treating them like Play-Doh. Like they're just shutting everything down. Completely molding them in their own creation. 13-7, no less, Rav. For Tig's KD.
Damn, Tig's doing really well. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Right? Especially as attacking Omen. I would feel like it'd be Wardell half the time going in on these entries, but nah. You know, he pops in past the paranoia, and so they all walk in for purpose contact push. But it's that op in their hand once again. Dark Ratio's on a save. So they can't do a ton here. Besides, you know, just hopefully try to get a couple people down. There's a paranoia here as well. And all it does is slow them, but they've already put on all their utils. Dewey goes down to the aftershock. And Trick gets two for his troubles. The nation gotta fall off.
Yeah, Seaside's no longer being an opportunity. Keep in mind, too, there's still the opportunity for Tig to use that Into the Shadows. Teleport anywhere on the map. But that would have to be a good finger on the pulse, a good read to see where Dark Ratio's current whereabouts are. That's easier said than done.
Yeah.
This is on a Thrifty, no less, too. Dark Ratio, this is an opportunity to pick up some weapons, some Vandals, some Phantoms.
This round could
maybe have a chance to bring it back.
You should run.
This could really work out if, you know, they actually do manage to get this round back where you're looking at an 8-4. Although Nation got dummy economy, but it's fine.
Wait, this is so smart from Brax.
Yeah.
He's baiting out everybody over towards A side, but the footsteps have already been called. Dark Ratio know about A.
This is big. Dark Ratio as well reads perfectly. And as they look to fall down here, the Brax comes at the back. Easy two-piece. That's why it's Tuesday once again. Leaving them in a 2v2. A mano. But which mano gonna win?
Yeah. And just having reconnaissance over the site. Rossi's playing far down A long.
No shot. No shots. He's following him inside. He's like,
come
hey,
on.
I know you don't see him.
No
he's walking
way.
Out, he's tiptoeing in his Jordans. He wanted to for himself. Yo, T-I-G-G. What it do, baby?
Every time we've seen Haven today, it's been the same exact post-plant lineup. Literally every time. First it was Odorous, and then Tig in that same position. No way. Unbelievable lurk.
He waited, dude. And he allowed himself to get all that. And I think, yeah, you gotta call a timeout after that. Dr. Ratio gotta recollect, like, all right, homies, let's talk about what's happening. What are we doing here?
I mean, It's one of those hard things for us to call, because it's like the nation is just mechanically playing super well right now, and it's the fundamentals that we're looking for. They're playing together as a group, they're listening to each other, they're communicating, and they're rotating to play more effectively again and recentering themselves to go into a position, whether that be going from C side to A side or vice versa, in order for them to have the map advantage. Dark Ratio's on the defense for Haven. They have 3 spike sites to worry about. You don't necessarily have that same amount of coordination unless it's a retake round. But, Raph, there's been so many aggressive fights happening at the beginning of the round, and very rarely has that gone in Dark Ratio's favor. And funny enough, most of the time when they do, it's on thrifty rounds. So the Sheriff is winning those fights. But the economy isn't looking good. It's been half the rounds going to thrifties, and I think it was you yourself who quoted saying it was the ping pong economy.
Yes, my friend, but these are the kind of ping pong animation that you don't necessarily want to see. He's that much tougher drone push-up so far, and no, he was so close. That could have been a nice start, because look, they're also pushing out of shooers, so that could have allowed them to even just completely flank them as if the nation went in as one. But Trick, try to look for any of the pickups they could find. That doesn't work out. Cause man, if you're a drone, you gotta win those.
And it's a slow rotate for Dark Ratio to get back onto A, reclaiming the ground. Now look at Will's position, deep inside C site, right on the barrier of that alarm bot. Now forced to back off, but at least they knew relatively where the nation would be. And now it's Garage. Will has the op angle.
Nice shot from Will. So that works out very much in Dark Ratio's favor for them to be able to actually apply some more pressure. But nope, Op gives it up. Brax is just better. And we're leaving one more person alive.
30 seconds left.
And he's on the other side of the map, so he's got to slowly crawl his way, walk over. Angie didn't 1v4. I don't think Angie can do this. Angie cannot do this.
It's 10-1. Post timeout 2. Rifle round already in play. What's the economy gonna look like for Dark Ratio? It's not great. Light shields and rifles, yeah, it's not the worst case scenario, but certainly far from the best.
The best case scenario would be like, 8-4, even 6-6 half. That would be a bad case scenario, but it's fine. They know they have to. They have the Nightfall available. And on the other end, there's still Knives for Wardell, but he has an op, so you wouldn't necessarily need it, but probably just pull that out for backup if anything. But look, but Tick has also made his way just right into the cubby and A-long. And this time, Drone does not actually check him, but off the concuss, he's looking to move up. The flash of the setup, and he tucks himself in the corner. So he's stuck. There's nowhere to go. But out
the double swing.
And the double swing out, but Rossi's there. Says, all right, yo, let's tussle. If you're trying to swing then, G.
Oh, Brax has that same counter lurk again, or potential lurk, excuse me. But no, it was a counter lurk after all, and shuts it down. But keep in mind for the post plant, well on their way with the rolling thunder. Could be used at any opportunity. Set up right outside Wardell's contact.
This is doable. All they have to do is, so firstly, as long as they win against Wardell, that's big, because then that relieves a lot of the pressure since both of them are stuck under hell. And that's not happening. The paranoia there, man. My man pulls out the knives.
Oh no!
And shorties him in the face. One bullet to the dome.
11-1 now, Rav. We talked about this in our previous series earlier. You have to win this next pistol round. There is no ifs and or buts. There's no buffer room whatsoever.
Yeah. This has to happen. If you are Dark Ratio, you gotta take this time to, a couple of seconds and then to reset and hopefully be able to come by going into the next half. But even then, the comeback is really tough because the nation are playing out of their minds right now. Good save. But I mean, this has been such a clinical trial right now from the nation. I love the way they play, but we'll have to wait and see how this next round goes. Dark Ratio banded all up together -1, heading towards C.
Let's see if the mechanical plays go through. Brax makes the right call to back off of sight, giving full control, looking maybe for a retake.
They all join up as 5, and now the nation as well too. You know, noticing on what's going down. So that's not just they don't just play for retake. Excuse me. No,
Stewie.
I was gonna say they actually don't peek at garage.
I think they want to, but it's solo peeking.
And there's somebody watching, so they definitely heard that jump. And Brax manages to live, but not. Look, Ross is behind them. So use the flash for the setup, but actually don't win this. Now it's in a 4v1. And Dark Ratio have done it.
Such an important round. So important. Because had Dark Ratio lost that, they would have to force by 1-12. And that, I mean, again, the buffer room just isn't there. You have Spectres against probably much better weaponry, but Dark Ratio, they opted to do it nonetheless. We have a Vandal on the board coming from the hands of Will. Otherwise, Spectres and Bulldogs will be the name of the game. This is a full eco from the nation, but if it's anything like we saw before, I don't know if that necessarily means this is a losing round. We've seen a lot of interesting Thrifty wins.
But even look at what the nation set up, right? You can see them holding pretty far up, tight angles that they have. The paranoia is nice for a couple of seconds, but it does not avoid Brax's death. And now for the rest of the nation, they're as to, they know they gotta take a loss bonus. So they're hoping to at least get 1, but not even that can happen. Dark Ratio should get a flawless here.
Yeah, and all that's left now is Stewie. A 1v5 to try to take this back. A shock dart to work with, but even then, it's not much. Classic at toe. A single headshot. It does ding Zexro, but it's just not enough to confirm. Not even any eco damage against Dark Ratio. They go away from a flawless round.
Cannot be done, my friend.
No. But this is a great opportunity for the nation. They can full buy rifles. For the most part.
Yeah, this is exactly what they want, right? These are the kind of buy-ups that they're hoping to be able to lean into, you know, much more even rounds naturally. But as soon as the nation did get guns in their hands last time, it did not look good for Dark Ratio. But we'll see what goes down in this round.
It's a slow crawl. Nanoswarm's down in garage.
Rolling Thunder to clear out C. They also managed to move through garage as well. So that'll just give them all that space. The turret smoked out. We're looking at a 5v5 or first 5v5 retake of that.
And Trick just laying down the pressure fire. Looking to see if anyone's on the other side. Does have the flashes to work with though. Good to push up.
Now they move in. Brax manages to get one. It's straight galore though. As put out the fade util. Will getting 2, also them repositioning as to look where they're holding. They decide to cut off all the exits, but the entrance is there. He was his shot, but Zexro's there for the backup. He daps up his homie, he goes and tags in. The leads the nation with just one person, being Brax. Brax has come out with insane plays before, but with the spike ticking down and him being a 1v3, he knows smarter plays. It's okay, we'll give it up, we'll come back after 2 rounds.
Yeah, and saving this rifle here is going to be good. Again, there's so many rounds in between Dark Ratio and the nation right now that just even saving for a few, building up that economy, totally no problem at all. But Dark Ratio, again, this is tooth or nail. An absolute mountain to climb. And these fast execs, we saw the Rolling Thunder be that initiative capabilities on the sea. A really good start. But you can't rely on that Rolling Thunder every round. You can't rely on your ultimates. In fact, for Dark Ratio going into this round, there won't be any to work with at all. So I wonder if the tempo of this round is going to change a little bit more, but they are focused more towards A side. C is going to be neglected a little bit outside of Zexro, but the rest of Dark Ratio, they might be looking for a heavy pressure tool between either A or B. So far, so good. Aftershock in tow, make sure that the utility, anyone, the anti-lurk is not there anymore. But already the rotate for the nation's been called. Hiding the different corners, including the smoke outside B.
Nothing made.
Spray shots.
Nothing yet. But as these 3 of them move out, Dark Ratio, we're just hoping to make contact with them because they have superior weaponry, so they know they can easily just win in long-range battles, and one person going down is clearly evidence of that. And so the nation now made a choice. You know what? We're not moving from our side. We're staying planted right here. Will is, you know, Will is outside. Sorry, Wardell is outside. But
With the shorty.
Yeah. Let's see what his shorty got in store for Wardell. But it's up against 3. So they're not also not just gonna dry walk into a site. And instead, they know CSAT's completely clear. So they can take this for free.
30
Yeah,
seconds
complete
left.
bypass. Feel a little bad for Wardell. He was all set up with the shorty. But now there's a great opportunity for a flank. Again, Zexro is holding out, waiting for that alarm bot to be activated. But there's no presence from the Nation at all. Everyone else is backing far, far away, looking specifically for exits.
We'll get spotted, and even the haunt is there to just outline completely what Wardell thought he might have been able to do. I would have showed his hand. He's gonna stay talked, but yeah, there's no shot.
Yeah, and look at the upper half of the map. Everyone in the Nation's just looking for those exits. Stewie's gonna try to take the bait a little bit, push forward, find some impact, but
Yeah.
no. Stewie falls. Dark Ratio again, setting themselves up for a flawless round. But there is Rossi.
Them not getting a loss bonus isn't great as well for the Nation. Them staying alive here just doesn't no favors. So for Brax currently, I mean, he's fine. You know, he can go ahead and buy up, but you know, would have been a bit nicer if he managed to just save something. But considering, I believe he managed to pick up one of the weapons off the ground, so he just plays far back and he's a-okay. Nonetheless, right now for the Nation, this is where we have to see, you know, them close out these games and get this round. We have seen previously in a lot of the games, right? They're so far ahead, but just getting those final couple rounds becomes so increasingly tough for them for some reason. But
Yeah, we
that's why
saw
they're key to
that.
it.
We actually saw that on one of the other Knights channels on Icebox, where they just struggled on the defense to close out these last 2 rounds.
Yeah.
But so much impact early on. But the quick escape from the Nation, Rossi even finds one. Zekro falls.
At least leave them with time to get the plant down. And one being taken away outside our Dark Ratio, this is where we might see the comeback. No ultimates to play with, so it'll just have to be them dropping in. And there's a setup too. Look on the outside, a big paranoia, but they can't clear Will out the corner. And Will, they have to get one more. Can't do it. There's too many people there. And Stewie, all up against Drone. Drone wins that. And then 1v1, he peeks out, plays the classic, the jump shot. Not gonna work off from Brax, and Drone sees all, clutches the round.
I think that might be the first round we've seen where the jumping right click from the classic does not win the fight, no matter what weapon's on the other side. Oh, but it's a full eco right now for the Nation. And again, we talked about the buildup of the economy. This now has been so many rounds in a row for Dark Ratio. They've won 5. But the Nation, they still have a huge buffer room of 5 rounds to work with still before it even comes close to being even. And so right now, besides Brax on that Vandal, they can buy up light shields, even on the Thrifty. They're looking for that anti-setup again. A little bit more aggressive this time around. We're looking at Wardell. He's playing for info. The Haunt doesn't find much. And yet, Dark Ratio are taking this unbelievably slow themselves. Poking and prodding again. No anti-flank from Seaside. No one pushes up. Wardell still trying desperately, Rev, to find the shorty kill to make it work.
I mean, he's got to get something, right?
He does. But Dark Ratio
Hopefully.
just set the tempo so slow now.
I mean, yeah, they're now she's walking in, 2% contact, can do the corner. Oh, they're smart. Oh, ho, ho. Drone was like, no, chill for a second. I got a feeling that they gonna try to do something. So, good patient plays, and it'll leave the Nation at a 04 to 04. I thought we were disadvantaged. He TP's over and actually gets him. What a play for Dark Ratio now on the comeback, on the attack. 6 rounds in a row.
I blinked, Rav. I blinked, and suddenly everyone was gone on the Nation's side. But I mean, these slow executes and the way the early round tempo that Dark Ratio have been playing are keeping the Nation on their toes. We can see these pushes, these early pushes from the Nation, trying to find that early first pick. But honestly speaking, has the Nation actually gotten a first pick at all this half? I don't think they have. This whole half has felt like it's been in Dark Ratio's favor.
Oh, so far, yes.
Well, except for that round.
But yeah, that's one way to not do that, and that's also the knives will take away from Will. And remember, they have an op this time too, but although that's set up on A, that's Dark Ratio just poking around C to see if they could possibly find something. And even now on B, right, although with nobody there, you have the entire Killjoy util setup, Molly, and also now there, so they deny the options of them moving in, and that forces all Dark Ratio to fall off. But yeah, this was an early Hunter's Fury, but hey, them forcing that out is nice.
It was the right read, but now the lockdown's gonna be the secondary line of defense for the Nation. Holding it down for both C and B, completely covered. A is the only route. Trick's already lurked his way up and doesn't know about Wardell. Wardell. Good for
That's
one.
the spike, but oh my god, he might be able to get it. But Wardell off in hand, he has to get the concuss, but no, he's taken down. Stewie makes it there in time. The tag team once again works out. And there's a lockdown now on Dark Ratio side, but they can just shock dart it. Yeah, one more is needed, but he doesn't have it. So the lockdown will stay, but they'll just jump right in, shoot it out. They don't even need util to take it away. And as Zexro left, the Nation want to go up to match point. It's a heavy investment round as the spike gets defused. The Nation get the first round of the half.
What a chaotic round. So many ultimates that ended up nowhere. But Dark Ratio, they were trying to play this baiting game so much for B-site. We saw the spike plant audio be queued. The Hunter's Fury in return. As soon as Dark Ratio saw that Hunter's Fury, they're like, nah, I'm good. I'm backing out. And they wanted to go to C, but I think after that lockdown happened, they were like, okay, we have to go A. And it worked out well. There's been very little Sentinel-based util or even player-based, positioning for the Nation on A site. But this default round, now that there's only one left, Dark Ratio have to play this so carefully. So carefully.
Oh yeah.
But early contact has been made. Hands can't quite find a lot. The dark cover goes down. It blocks the potential upline shot from A long. Otherwise, Dark Ratio, they're just looking to remove utility.
They use this time at least, though. I was gonna say, they actually use this time at least to, it's the same sort of deep pocket that we see Edge playing previously, but just try to punish. Maybe the moving in, and considering they also have somebody to play off of, right, with the breach at the side. So this is also Wardell could potentially be punished and swung upon.
It's all on Wardell's shoulders right now. The clear out this map. Okay.
That is tough. That's because they did not use a fault line on that. Now the Nightfall goes in. Should be able to tag two. And yes, they do. Wardell is deafened. He's decayed, but he is not down just yet. As they all move out, Zexo takes two. Garage cleared open. He takes out the Whippadeski, and now they can move into C.
Full side control. It's up to the Nation in the 3v4 to go for a retake here. Potential to have the jet knives come out. Bladestorm will be huge here. Wardell still has the op to work with for the long angle. But Dark Ratio are opting to play on site. They're not backing off like you normally see.
Because they're up against the Opera, so they know that any long-range battle up against Wardell and an Op is not what you want. But now, allow for them to move in. Stewie2k gets the 2K. But now he walks in, he gets the hair with the toupee. Now we gotta see what the Nation, what do you say? It's Angie trying to stop with the paranoia. Now gone, the smoke as well. They can't do nothing more. He peeks out and make that Stewie3k. The Nation take map 1.
Oh man, I mean, talk about having a difficult time closing out maps. The Nation have struggled 2 maps in a row now. The first one wasn't on stream, but they've struggled to close out these defensive rounds. But I gotta say, Rav, I'm excited for map number 2.
Yeah, especially considering how you switch sides and suddenly Dark Ratio looks like a very different team. Seems the timeout really helped out a lot for Moonchopper, and so they are able to bring that back in a really big way. And although the lead was commanding from the beginning, it does show that these are the expectations that we have set up for Dark Ratio. These are the kind of map scores we wanted to be able to see. And although 13-8 is tough, but the Nation are insane.
It was a good attempt to come back from Dark Ratio, but the Nation just cleaned it out, and we still got map 2 to worry about. I can't wait to see it, man.
Exactly like you meant.